You're now listening to This Is Us with the Costa Group.
Today at the Costa Group, we're going to talk about the vision and the mission statement to the Costa Group. We're going to give you an understanding of what we stand for, our core values. Hope you enjoy our segment. So we've decided here at the Costa Group that we're going to start podcasts. We thought it was a great idea.
No, you didn't.
No, we didn't. We
No.
actually did not think it was. I know.
I made you do this.
Yeah, so we're going to start these podcasts. We're going to tell you what we're all about. We're going to discuss issues, tips, anything. It's open forum. We're basically going to include different team members.
Very cool and natural, right?
100%. Yeah, that's why I don't want to be so stuck up about this thing, right?
We're not going to be stuck up about this thing, but we're going to mainly talk about mortgages, but about life too, right?
100%.
Okay. I think people need to know who the heck we are. So do you want to do the honors?
Yeah. So the Costa Group was a concept we put together when I became a mortgage broker. I thought there was something bigger, and I wanted to create a team that had all aspects of services. So your commercial, your privates. We will be the team that once a mortgage comes in front of us, we will find a solution for. So that was the first concept that we came up with for our vision statement. We problem solve anything when it comes to mortgages, whether it be commercial, residential, privates, it doesn't matter, we do it. The second concept is our training, right? For our mortgage brokers and our mortgage agents that trust us, we want to, motivate them, teach them, make them top performers. So that's the second component. We have Glen Silva with us. He's one of our newer ads. I thought I would include him because then we can get his perspective on how he feels about our training, our motivational board.
There you go. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, so I've included Glen as well. So Glen, did you want to say hi?
Sure. Good afternoon. Glen Silva here from the Costa Group. So going back to training, I have been here since March, and we have constant development in the office every week. And prior to the last 6 weeks of the Buffini program, we've had our motivational Mondays every week, and we also have coaching Wednesdays, which I think is a great addition to any team out there. I firmly believe in motivating your team weekly, and if you have a team that works together and is a unit, you definitely become very successful by all the good qualities that you accomplish together. At the end of the day, I think this just makes us more powerful and strong, and you become an advocate of the brand, and it'll take you up to the next level. So as of now,
you guys are really about teamwork here, right?
100%.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We're changing the dynamics of mortgage teams, right? You have those mortgage teams that bring deals to the table. So everybody's working in their own little corners. We believe 100% in teamwork. And with Glen, it's all hands on deck. Mm-hmm. So when we get any deal put in front of us, it's all of us around the table working on that deal. So that's why, when we put our collaboration together, when me and Zervain sat down and thought, how are we going to do this? How are we going to differentiate from these other teams, these mortgage teams? Mm-hmm. It's that, sometimes, splitting incomes, like splitting our commission, right? We do that with the team. If you touch a deal, we have to get these guys hands on deck, the commission splits, right? But it's more so of, when I'm out sourcing and making, putting these relationships together with these big developers or, real estate agents, I'm putting them in front of my team because I trust my team to take care of them, right? So Jamie's like, stop slamming the table.
Stop slamming on the table.
I talk with my hands, so this is very difficult. No, I'm kidding. But no, in all seriousness, it's about that. It's about the team dynamics. I preach to these guys every Monday. You have to 100% trust your co-pilot. Trust the person next to you. If somebody's speaking ill of the team, you have each other's back.
I think that's really important. Like, I come into the office every once and again, and I see that teamwork with you guys, and I see that motivation that you guys have with each other, and inspiring each other and helping each other out. Do you find that's the kind of your little secret, which isn't much of a secret, but it's kind of the dynamic that most companies don't have, and they should, because that's the success of a company, is having a good, strong team.
Yeah, I think this is for a mortgage industry. I think I said it at our meeting on Monday. It's a very independent industry. There's many people that come to our team from other teams. From what I hear, they've gone through quite a bit, and they've always felt that they were alone. They never had the constant support level.
It's almost like there's like a competition, almost, right?
It is.
Even amongst the team, 100%.
Yeah.
This is the cutthroat business.
Yep.
Mortgages are a cutthroat business. These new guys that have added on, like Glen and Tina, who haven't been in the mortgage industry, you don't know what it's actually about. When you get into a team, I remember my first interview coming on the broker side, it was like, these are all the restrictions. You join this team, you don't solicit this office, because a broker's already in there. And I'm like, how is
like there are more walls than anything.
Oh yeah. Where I'm with the team, I'm like, don't ever look at your person, like the person next to you, as competitor. Anybody outside these walls are your competitor.
And have
right?
you felt that?
Yeah, it's totally like the game of golf. I compete against myself in golf. I've never competed against the guy beside me, because most likely he's better than me at golf. But it's exactly like it. And, I'm looking to develop myself daily, and there's a lot of things that I put into it, personal development and all the above. I definitely agree 100% with that. If you have somebody who's one out on the team, it's not going to work.
100%.
So if you don't have everybody on board, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. At the end of the day, it's not going to go through.
So I do want to emphasize. So Glenn did mention we have motivational Mondays. I do want to emphasize that we have the coaching Wednesday. So what I do, me and Zervain, we observe on motivational Mondays. We ask the team, bring all your issues forward. I want every single issue, problem, anything you feel, anything you have at heart, whether it affects me or not. If it's directed to me, I want it on the table. And then we take 3 days to analyze it. By Wednesday, this is individual coaching. Then I'm sitting down with each one, and I'm explaining to them and coming up with a solution, right? So I truly believe exactly what Glenn did say, even at our meeting on Monday, is that it's the, if you have an issue, put it forward and we will take care of it, right? So I think he's bang on about it, right? So
you touched a little bit on Zervain, Tina. I think because this is our first podcast, why don't you go through everybody that's part of the team right now, and
For sure.
Obviously, and hopefully we'll be growing that team, but when the time comes, we'll talk about that. But for right now, who do you have on your team, and what are they doing, and go through it.
So Dee Scrow is my full-time assistant. Zervain Lima is the co-founder of the Costa Group. Carmen Costa, founder.
I've heard about Carmen. I've seen her in social media too. She's like all over the place.
Everybody's seen me. Aaron Romanowicz was one of my hires, my first hires. He trusted me, one of my past clients, great guy. Hired him on, great hire. Edward Salaris, he was hired, I think it was about 3 months after Aaron. Took him about 3 months to add on, because he came from a team where it was cutthroat, and his broker threw him under the bus. So he didn't trust me. I remember the three meetings.
The joys of mortgage.
Oh, it was crazy. The 3 meetings, he just kept questioning me over and over. And I'm like, okay, I don't even know if I want you on my team. But I did want him on my team because he was precautious about everything. So I like that about him. So he was a good hire. We've got Tina Thorold. It was Glen, then Glen Silva, then Tina. So, and then we have one more in the works. Can't announce it till Tuesday, so I can't say anything as of yet.
All right.
So,
cool.
Yeah, the team is growing. You are right about that. We also have the social media, right? I find you guys a part of our crew as well.
Cool.
So, we've got Jamie and we've got Colin. I don't know Colin's last name.
You know
guys
what?
are part of the familia.
I've hired Colin. He's been with me for a while. I don't know his last name either. So moving on.
I don't know Colin's last name.
So you made some notes here. I don't know what you want to go through.
My notes are
I'm
horrible.
pushing them through to you because I cannot read any of that.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna. You know what? We're as a team, we're working on our vision statement. But my vision for the team is 100% what I had said when I first started. We find solutions for every type of mortgage, and we also do it cheap, right? So we find the cheapest, most effective solution possible for any mortgage. I can honestly say, and I think Glenn would attest to this, I can honestly say that I am legitimately the mortgage guru when it comes to mortgages, because I can look at a deal.
You kind of just breathe this, right? It's like,
yeah, it's easy. Any solution I can come up with, and I think Glenn, it's funny because you did your first deal. Congrats! I was very happy. He's just like, I don't know where you come up with this stuff, but it's not. It's just. I'm used to it. It's been 15 years of looking at mortgages that I know.
I was just going to say that. So your background, can you talk a little bit about your background personally?
Yeah, for sure. So I started with Scotiabank. I'll never forget, and we were thinking about this the other day. I walked into a Scotiabank. I just got out of college, and the manager came over. She said, "Oh yeah, we're actually hiring for tellers." And I interviewed her on the spot. So I asked her a bunch of questions, and she's like, "Okay, I guess you can have the job." And I didn't even give my resume to her. So she took my piece of ID. I'll never forget. She took a copy and she said, "Okay, come Tuesday, training starts," right? So I started as a mortgage teller. I moved all the way up within 6 months to management. I realized in management position, I did not like investments. So as I was looking at portfolios, I got I was a certified financial planner. I was like, oh man, I just spent all this schooling I do not like investments. But I loved mortgages. As I started putting mortgages together, I was like, I love this. So the manager at the time, the branch manager said, "You're a rock star. I think it's best you go on commission." And I was like, I live at home. I'm like, I guess I can do this. I went into mortgages. First year, I booked $8 million. The year after that, I went 15. And then the year after that was consistent $30 million. Wow. So I remember, so that was 11 years in the mortgage industry with Scotiabank. I left Scotiabank for personal reasons. I had my son. It was a whole thing about mat leave. So I honestly was a very loyal person. I love their product. They're great. But I left for personal reasons. So then I became a mortgage broker. I jumped over. Actually, I was a mortgage agent. I jumped over. And my first year, I did $27 million. And I remember my broker saying, "You're going to do 10. You'll do half, if not 1/3 of that business." I had my 4-month-old son, and I did $27 million. And then consecutively after that, I did $42 million. Wow. So, yeah. So then, I hit a point, I think it was about 2016. My daughter was born, and I'm like, this is awesome. I remember sitting around a table at our awards night, and the lady next to me said to me, "I'm so sorry you didn't win an award," because they were going through the class by lower award to top award. And I knew I was in the top award, and I was laughing because she kept rubbing my arm, and I'm like, does she even know I won the diamond award? I'm confused. But I finally won. We get to the category, and they announced, Carmen Costa, and she looked over, and she's like, "Holy, you just had a baby." And my daughter was in my lap. She was 4 months at the time. So I said to Zervain that night, we were in the hotel room, and I said, I need to do more than this. I feel like this is, I've accomplished. I went to the top award. I don't want to do this anymore. Let's think about something else. So I think the next step was a team, right? So, but it's not just a team. It was more than that, and that was where our vision came. It's solutions, right? I'm going to build a strong sales force that each one of these guys are going to be mortgage gurus. So when they look at the product, they're going to know, the solution. They don't have to come to me to find that solution. So
do you find that there's a lot of cookie cutter ideas out there on how to create these mortgage solutions, and that you're totally scrapping that and going with what you're saying, which is
100%.
Like going fully custom, making sure that you go with the best interest for the client.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we're tailor making every product for each client, right? So basically it comes down to, every client's situation is different, right? And Glenn, you can attest to this. You've done 3 deals, right? So you can
totally.
attest to this. Like, every situation is different. You have a lot of these mortgage brokers that turn around and say, "What's your best 5-year fixed?" And I'm like, you know what? How about we sit down? Let me look at your situation and see what I can do for you, right? And that's what I'm trying to teach these guys. When people come at you, I don't think I've ever bought my rate down, because I think people don't understand different situations, and I'm here to explain it.
Yeah.
I'm here to get your accountant involved. I'm here to get your lawyer involved to find the best solution for you, right? My way of thinking, it's not gray area per se, but it's more like I'm trying to customize and be different in this market, because not everybody is suited for a 5-year fixed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because if that's the case, then anybody can process a 5-year fixed, right?
I mean, everybody's life is different and things change, right?
Yeah. Oh, they do. And that's the thing. I have clients. I had a guy call me this morning. He was awesome. Like, he called and he said to me, he goes, and I asked him, I said, oh, your wife had, so they were going on mat leave. She was going on mat leave. And I had seen she was pregnant. So I said to them, okay, you should look at doing this. Let's cut back some costs. Let's do this. It's 5 years later. The kids are, in school. He had 2 kids. And I was like, that's awesome. He's like, everything you said in that room at Scotiabank, I was at Scotia at the time, came true. I had 2 kids, and I'm like, I knew that. So, it's the common thing, right? I'm going to have 2 kids, and now his wife's back to being a full-time teacher. And I'm like, okay, now let's plan and cut back that amortization. Let's start looking at your payments. Let's start looking at paying down your mortgage now. So right?
You went through that stage as well. You just said you had your son and your daughter, and you were working from home and doing all these things. How important do you think that was for this company? You going through those experiences and bringing
it was
that
huge. I'm on top of and I want to it's such an emotional roller coaster, because I did do that, and what got me forward with my daughter working full time, bringing her to the office with me. Clients didn't even know I had her, right? So I remember when I was giving birth to her, there was a guy working on a deal. I know exactly who he is, and I didn't tell him I was pregnant. So we were working on the phone the whole time. I was at 9 months. I was due, right? So we were
There's
negotiating.
Carmen in the hospital, just laying down, just.
She was literally delivering it on her laptop.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's.
Can you give me a
that's
second?
Yeah.
Have the kid. Okay, I'm back now.
Well,
Okay, Doc, you can come in now.
I know it's technology though. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, technology, it's easy. You can be on your phone, and I didn't have D at the time. So if I had D at the time, I could have had 3, right? So at the time, it was just me. I was on my phone. I was doing that, right? But I was negotiating with him on, I think it was the loan to value. Anyways, a week later, I had my daughter in the car seat and next to me, and he was signing, and he's like, oh, wow, you have a baby. That's all. How old is that baby? I'm like, a week. He's like, wait a sec. Did you just?
He starts calculating.
Yeah, he's like, wait a sec. You had your baby. I said, yeah, we were talking. It was like maybe 3 hours after I had Zendaya. We were talking. But that's the funny thing. Like, and I said to Zervain, talking about, what made the Costa Group, it's that, right? It's everything that's contributed to it. It's hard work, and all these guys are working hard, right? So when I know Glen, when I interviewed him, he's like, you called me and you hired me. Why? Like, I don't even do mortgages. And I'm like, you work hard.
Talk a little bit about that experience, Glen. Like, how did that all how did you get here?
Okay, so it all started, I guess I was in the job market for maybe, let's say about 5-6 weeks, probably since the mid-January. And I believe I got in contact with Carmen the end of February. It was just before the 26th, because I started on the course. She sent me the link to the course, so I took the course, finished it, completed it in 5 days.
It was crazy.
I contacted her on
like a champ.
the Tuesday after.
I have no idea.
I just really wanted
Somebody
to do
that
something.
doesn't come from mortgages. This is why I said to him, he's like, why'd you hire me? I'm like, you did that course. You opened up the book, because I gave him the link.
Yeah.
You opened up the book in 5 days. He did everything, and then he wrote the exam and passed.
I literally, I've always been pretty good with finances, accounting, numbers. It was kind of my thing in school and throughout life. I ran a couple successful businesses. So I said, okay, I'm going to take it to the next level. I pushed myself. I'm a lot older now, a lot more mature and stuff. So I just thought,
We can see the gray hair.
Yeah,
I mean,
most definitely.
Not on the podcast, but we're actually recording this as well.
And I think some of it's going away now that I started, or is it getting worse?
It might have been just me rubbing off.
Yeah, maybe it's getting worse. But then again, so I completed that within the week. I believe I contacted Carmen on the Monday. I passed on the Friday. Yeah, I think I contacted her either the Friday or the Monday anyways, and then she emailed me back right away, and I was kind of like, okay, well, let's set up a time to meet. Let's talk about this. So I met her on the Tuesday, and here I am. So basically one thing led to the next, and we took it to the next level. I started, I think that Friday, I think you guys came in, you took my picture, Next week I started started hitting the books, and every day I do a little bit of personal development, reading, try to increase my knowledge. Knowledge is power, firm believer of that.
Let's talk about this reading though, Glenn. Like in all seriousness.
What's going on here?
Let's do this. No, this is a challenge that we like.
Let's talk
So we started this. So about a month ago, I brought to the table that everybody should read a book, right? So I gave books to everybody in their personal one-on-one coaching. I handed a book to Glenn, and Glenn's like, how does this relate to mortgages? I have no idea how this relates to mortgages. He's like, I want to learn about mortgages. I said, okay, that comes, man. Relax. I need your personal development. I need mentally, I need you to be there.
Well, you need to be balanced, right?
100%.
Absolutely.
Okay,
So,
but at the time, let's get your perspective on that. How did you feel?
Okay, so so let's begin. I'm not a book reader, never have been throughout school, this and that. I did what I did. I was a numbers guy. I hated writing essays. I hated doing all that kind of stuff. I hated reading. I think I would read the back of the book in school and, do my little tidbit and hand it in to the teacher. Anyways, she hands me this book, and I'm looking at her. I'm really? I gotta read? So anyways, I put myself up to the challenge. I begin it, and I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the book.
No.
I'm like, Carmen,
It's a personal
development book. It's really, it's off the charts. It's different. It's something not up my alley. I'm like, I need something knowledge, like on the industry or business or, I had Rich Dad, Poor Dad at home, which I actually just finished reading as well. So
look,
it's
you
been
read
my second
2
book.
books in a
Oh my
month.
God. Look
I
at
think
that.
just a little bit over a month, maybe, like a,
That's good.
Okay, but somebody not reading at all.
so
too.
totally into it. And so the first book, I wasn't into it right away. But then I kind of said, okay, I'm going to give it a chance. I kept reading. And then next thing you know, I'm halfway through it. And at the end of the day, it was completed. And I said, thanks, Carmen. It's now sitting on our bookshelf over there for somebody else to read. So anyways, I believe it's helped me in becoming where I am and taking me to the next level. So I think some of the skill sets that she has in mind definitely are heading in the right direction, and she knows what she's doing. It's taking somebody to the next level, pushing them to the limit, taking them out of their comfort zone.
So, that being said, you're trying different things here. We were just talking a little while ago before we went on air about some workouts, and that's another nice team building strategy that you have going on. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So
and why I wasn't invited yet?
Yeah, I know.
She didn't think you can handle it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really didn't think you could. No.
Okay, I get it now.
No, but you know what? And that whole, I know it was it wasn't a spiritual, it was more of like a personal development, right, component, because everybody comes from different aspects, right? So you're coming from different jobs, you're high strung. So when I put this together, we thought about it. And I'm going to be honest with you, even the co-founder, Zervain, was like, no, I don't think this is a good idea. These guys aren't going to do it. And I said, it's not for them to do it for me. It's for them to do it for themselves. I said,
Absolutely.
Anybody can learn mortgages. I can teach Glenn in 2 days how to put a mortgage together, but we get that on our Motivational Mondays. You guys get the one product, and I think you should take time on that. But the personal development, like if you're a jerk, you know what I mean? You can be a guru of mortgages, but if you're a jerk, nobody wants to deal with you.
Exactly.
Nobody. If you exhibit like from 10 mile, like 10 feet away, I don't want to deal with you.
Absolutely. But
If
you
you're
see that in
pompous,
everything,
if
right?
you're arrogant, if you have to have the ability to be, humble. And that's what I'm trying to teach them. I said, I can go into a room and I can humble myself within a second, right?
And working out together, I mean, there's that level of, you push each other. And,
So the working out was a different component. This took a month for Zervain to agree to, first of all. But after our first class, Zervain turned to me and he said, okay, I get why you did that. Because it's different when you're stressed out on we're putting a mortgage together and something goes sideways, right? And then you have to fix it. That's a mental stress. When you're putting your body through stress and you're doing it as a team, because listen, I was suffering just as much as these guys were. When we were on the bikes,
I saw the pictures.
Yeah, we were dying. But it's and Dee said something in the car. She said it's looking at your coat and them saying you can do this. Like that gave me goosebumps. Like Dee said, she looked at Tina and Tina said to her, you can do this, but she was dying.
Yeah.
That's teamwork, and that's what we were looking for. I got so many messages from clients saying, is that all you do is work out? I'm like, no, we don't just work out. We do way more than mortgages, right? And
package,
then that guy, the funny part is that guy's like, can you do 2 of my mortgages, right? So we're getting people's attention because we are doing something different. Yeah. We are. And that whole, physical to it is that. And I told these guys 2 weeks from now, we're doing yoga. I need you guys to center yourselves. So, I need you guys to. Are you invited?
Am I invited for that one? No.
Okay, I'll invite you.
Okay.
But we're doing the yoga because mentally, I need these guys to be, in a stressful situation. Your body can go through anguish. You're not freaking out. You're calm. These guys were awesome, man. Like we were all screaming. They're like the trainers there today. I walked in for my training session, and the trainers there were like, I wish I worked at the Costa Group, because the dynamics of the way we were talking to each other, we were like motivating each other, and we were dying. Mm-hmm. I want to emphasize, this wasn't just a boot camp. I didn't think he was going to go that hardcore, but it's just the dynamics of how we were working, like looking at each other. Like I know that it pumped me to see that my team was killing it, right? And I love that, right? So when it comes to now I said to Zervain, I said, we're going to do yoga. And he's like, I don't even know where you're coming from. And the thing is yoga is going to center these guys. So when they do go through a stressful situation with mortgages, they're not on the sidelines freaking out with the client. They're calming that client down. They're centering that client. They're putting that client where that client, because my guys, my girls, their personalities are improving. Yeah. Their mentality is proving. And their physical is improving, because it doesn't just it takes anybody to do a mortgage, but to get to that level is where I'm bringing them.
You need to have all these pillars in life aligned. It's not just business.
But this is all over these coaching books. If you look up, everybody's picking up these coaching books.
Yeah, they all say kind of the same thing, right?
It's 5 pillars, and that's exactly what we're doing, right? And that's what I told Zervain. I said, this is where we're heading. We're heading to a new team dynamic, because I know what it felt like to be on a team and be centered out and being in a corner and nobody helping you. Trying to get answers. There was nobody. Everybody was against and doing their own thing. I don't want that. And I said this to the guy, to the team. You need to work together as a team. You need to always protect each other as a team, but be more like a family, right? Because you're not going to let anybody talk bad about your family or mistreat your family. Everybody's treated with respect, and that's what we're doing here.
Cool.
So
yoga is the next step?
Yoga's the next step. I know. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Glenn?
Very good. I'm excited. I think training mentally, physically, like I said, I think I posted something the other day. We don't only train mentally. We train physically. We do all aspects of training, coaching. It works. It definitely... we're doing it right. It takes you to the next level. I'm telling you, I've worked in teams, and some teams work years trying to develop their teams to do some stuff like this, team building activities, a lot of. Everyone was on board. I think at first some people kind of felt, I don't know, I don't have the time for this, whatever. But I think at the end of it all, everybody felt good about it. And I see the results. Everybody's a little bit sore, but I think everybody was a little content, and I know I was. I felt great. And yesterday I worked out again. I just kind of pushed the limit, right?
But you play soccer too, right?
I do, definitely.
This is a total different aspect.
But it's different,
honestly, right? Give us your opinion on this whole, now that we're talking about training, how was it between soccer and this boot camp?
Okay, so I've had some pretty tough coaches, and, soccer's kind of running the stairs. This year's been a little different. I feel like I'm a lot more in shape, body-wise, full body-wise, upper body, but... This is it takes you to top notch. If you do this consistently, I think you can play anything you want. I think a lot of athletes do programs like this, boot camps, CrossFits. They strengthen their muscles all around the body. So, anyways, yeah, we definitely it definitely helps a team. It definitely helps you as an individual. It definitely increases your stamina. It definitely helps you physically, mentally. At the end of the day, you're. This also helps your mental game when you're physically. It helps you relax. It helps you kind of take your life in a different perspective. You feel better about yourself. You feel better about your job.
You know what? It's game on, man. I'm excited about this podcast. Jamie, thank you for bringing me out of my comfort zone. It's game on.
It's not a podcast. I see these things as conversations.
Conversations
Excellent.
on Friday.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. Thank you so much, Jamie. Honestly, Glenn, you were a blast. You're always a blast, man. You make me laugh all the time.